Hello and welcome to Minecraft Arcadia. In this video we're going to go over Laputa, built by Alcire. I think that's how you say your name, right?
That's good enough.
Okay, I'm not sure how to
Alcire,
pronounce.
Alcire.
Okay. Yeah, built by Alcire. He's gonna take you guys through the tour. This will probably be broken up into two videos. Not sure. We'll see when we get there. You guys can check this out. The link will be posted in the description, as well as the forum link, like I normally do. Um, that's pretty much it. So we'll set the stage for you. All right.
Alright, like he said, this is my castle, modeled after the anime movie by Hayao Miyazaki. I hope I pronounced that right. This is Laputa, one of my favorite movies, and the only one I could think of to try and recreate. First, when you first appear in the castle, if you use the server command /warp, you'll appear right here in the little glider cart here, which is where the protagonists actually arrive in the first place when they land at the castle. Here we go, demonstration. If you step right out here, you can see it's just a teeny little wooden thing with a bunch of pink wool, nothing too fancy. And I made this as one of the main pieces of the castle when I was first planning it. I designed it so it would be the big main cylinders and of the castle itself, and then this teeny little cylinder we're standing on here with the cart on it. Over here is a little rule board I made just in case we get any griefers, though. The castle's basically indestructible now, thanks to server commands. Not even the Ender Dragon can break it. And I fell. I meant to do that. Over here, if we go across this little bridge, you get a kind of a preview of the lower area down here and some of the statues and stuff I made. We'll start with the main upper area here, though. And let's go along the outside, and then I'll show you the central tree. These little things here are supposed to be like baby trees, one fence post with a few leaf blocks. They're just to help decorate the upper area because I didn't want to fill it with big trees since they'd break up the view of the lower area, which is the main part. Right over here is one of the two staircases down. It's a big semicircle stuck off the side of the main central piece here with a little stairway down. I'll show you those ones as we go down. The main castle here, as we go around, you can see is just all sandstone with a orange roof, and a lot of leaf blocks to be vines. I didn't want to use regular vine blocks because they don't spread out well. I made these ones, as you can see, they zigzag back and forth a lot here. You can't do that with regular vine blocks, and they didn't stand out enough in my opinion because they lay flat. Over here's a little bench just to break up the scenery a bit more. I try to make this whole upper area look like a walking area, sort of park, where people would just go around to travel. Here's a little fountain, and one of our first ways down, this is the cylinder sort of bubble dome that leads up, and two spiral staircases lead down. I'll show the inside when we get down there. Here's the back entrance to the castle. There's three different little walkways in. There's one in the front, one back here that just has a little sandstone platform in the front, nothing special to it. And here's another fountain, but this one's been broken. I designed it so it's been cracked off and the water pours down. You can see, oh, he goes down for a direct view. You can see there's a little sort of swamp here in the lower area. If you can teleport back up to me. There we go. Here's the second of the two semicircles. This one has pillars, just another staircase down using half slabs, and more baby trees, as I call them. Yet another fountain, and a little bench here to sit in, relax. Though you really look stupid if you crouch here, you know. And here's the second little platform. I made two of these just to break up the shape of the area a bit. I didn't want it to just be one solid circle. The bridge here's been cracked to help show that the castle's been abandoned and overgrown and such. This one just leads out to a big circular area. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, so I left it empty except for a bench where you can look out to the ocean below and a little tree. Lots of flowers here as well. The whole castle's full of flowers. Oh, surprise guest appearance from Firling, I guess. Hello, Firling. Let's see what he's up to. This is the whole of the outside here. We're coming back up to the main area here, with the little kite glider here in the distance again. And so let's step inside and see the main attraction, I guess, the big center tree. If we're lucky, we might see a golem or two here as well. This whole area I made, so the only trees inside here are the regular oak trees, the default trees, and a bunch of jungle trees. Here's the mega tree. And right here you can see the signboard here. It's filled with random gibberish text right here. It's supposed to be Laputan code, I guess you could call it. It's in the movie. They call it a grave site. It's full of big long text with a emblem of the castle in the front. You can see I made a little ASCII art one here, in the very top, across these three signs. 2 wings on the side, and then the actual castle itself, 3 concretic cylinders, and below on the ground, 5 little flowers. The robot in the movie brings flowers and leaves them at the grave site, so I just planted them here. There is, around here, on the outside, are a bunch of dead golems, like in the movie. They're so old they broke down or died or something, I'm not sure what. But these ones, you can actually make the same iron block and pumpkin recipe that creates an actual golem, and it will not come alive if you don't place the pumpkin last. That's the key. So you can see over here, this one would have come alive, but I made sure to place the pumpkin and then the iron blocks underneath, if that makes sense. Oh, here's Llama. Surprise guest appearance number 2. Llama, for anyone who's interested, is the server owner. He's the big old mastermind behind this. He's the guy who gives it all the ranks, keeps the things running. He's also an awesome programmer and DJ. Everyone loves Llama, ain't that right, Bedrock?
Oh yeah, DJ Llama for the win.
The main tree trunk itself is just a big old circle, and then I grew the roots off of it. I just made one big circle going up, and then I placed little tendrils of blocks going down, out from partway out, and then bulked them up, so it looked like they go down into the ground. But otherwise, it's actually hollow on the inside. I can show you that later. Should we move on to the lower layer now? I think I covered everything up. We'll take the stepway down that I showed before. This one here is designed to go down, and there's a little middle layer here. It has little archways you can see here on the pillars holding it up. They're little arches. There's nothing in here except it provides a nice little view of the outer area here if you walk around. Sort of a preview of what we're about to see. Step all the way down here and we get to the main road, though, where the meat of the action is. All of the roads here are upside-down half slabs. I made them by first placing a solid layer of dirt across the entire castle, and then using a shovel to sort of randomly break little lines, crisscrossing them all around, and then I added in connection bits. So that's why it was all so randomly zigzaggy. First, here we have a little way down. These are little bubbles that sort of cross the entire castle. Each one is mostly solid, though a few, like this one, have walkways down to the core. We can show that off later. There's about, I'd say, 5, maybe 6 that lead down to the core, and 4 of them, one in each of the cardinal directions that lead to the outer ring, which we can see right over here a bit better. The ring is the largest section of the castle. The biggest circle, so it was the most nightmarific to build. Little jack-o'-lantern over here, too. Here's the first statue, though. This one here, this is a bit hard to explain. I was showing a Bedrock earlier, and he was basically stunned. This is a giant astrolabe. Astrolabe, I don't know how to pronounce it. They're ancient sort of devices used by medieval times to tell locations of stars and planets. The gold block here in the center that I'm jumping on Can you see me, Bedrock? Cool. This one is supposed sun, and each iron block is supposed to be the hinges that connect all of the circles to the next layer. So there's the big semicircle that connects to one giant ring, connects to a smaller ring, connects to a tiny ring, connects to the sun. If this was real life, the whole thing would be spinning around or able to rotate to track the position of the stars, though Minecraft does not handle moving blocks, so that's not happening. Over here we're coming across some of the water channels. These crisscross all over the castle. They're one of the main features besides the statues, which we come across. The most important statue, I would call. You can see here that it's a floating statue. The giant wings and a teeny little block in the center is a copy of the Laputan symbol, like they're the emblem of the royal castle, basically. It's supposed to be two big wings spreading out around a head, a floating head, which is this little block here. And it's all made out of sandstone. There's actually two of them, one on the opposite side of the castle, though you can't see it right now. It leads down, there's a little half-step platform right here in the front, just to sort of draw the eye to it if you're following the roads, just keeping your eyes down. Right over here, in the waterways, is a little bonus I programmed in for fun, or built, not programmed. It's harder to see from here, but if you jump up in the trees or jump a little bit, you can see it. It's actually a copy of the symbol itself. The little square here is the head, and then there's a little semicircle here that spreads out like the wings. It's nothing significant, it just I put it in there for fun. It comes off of the first aqueduct here as well. There's 4 of these in the castle. Each one comes from the walls, leads out and pours into a little pool. Now, this one is a broken one, actually. You can see it's been cracked off, and I'm standing on the little remains here, or drowning. I wanted to make this one different, or one of them different somehow, so they'd stand out some. So this one pours down, and the water has blasted in here, washed away all of the dirt, so you can see the smooth brick underneath. And then I planted a million pieces of bone meal down here to make a ton of plants grow, and a ton of reeds. The idea is that it kind of washed out and grew into a little swamp sort of idea. So that's why there's lily pads and stuff here and where else. All the aqueducts normally pour into pools, and then the pools lead into the rest of the castle's waterways. You can see this little tiny circle here is where the aqueduct would have fallen into. If you look right up there, you can see the edge matches up to here. So the water would have fallen in and then spread out. Since it's broken, it kind of just obliterated whatever waterways would be, made a big pool, and has spread out from there. Right over here, on the other side, is the same little bubble dome that I mentioned before. It leads up to the top. I tried to fill this with something on the inside, like make a little water pool, but it didn't turn out too well, so it's empty. I may come back to this later, but for now it's done. It's just 2 spiral staircases that lead up to a little platform. You walk up here. It's one of the 3 ways to get to the upper layer again. But there's nothing special inside it, unfortunately. Right down here is the next aqueduct. This is one pours into a stone basin, and the water flows out into the channels, as you can see here. 3 little pathways it follows. This one is different, just to make it different, easier, interesting to look at. All the others land in just a pool in the ground, but this one lands in the basin, then the ground. It's also the longest aqueduct of the 3. It's just this big, long one that comes out from the side and spreads all the way out along here. Ah, here's one of the little statues I almost passed by. Not exactly a statue, though. You can see each tree here, if you stand at the center and look around, is a large tree. So they all been oak trees have been grown to big sizes, like they sometimes do. If they grew tiny, I cut them and then planted a new one. Looking on the outside, you can see that every other tree is a small tree, but I made these ones all big to stand. There's also no grass or flowers on the inside, with this mysterious little pillar here. The sign here in the middle just has random gibberish text. Again, same sort of code that I used in the sign in the center. It's just to add a little bit of flair, so it's not just a big circle of trees. I don't remember exactly what it says, but I think I may have just stuck like a limerick in there or something that I translated. It's nothing fancy. If someone translates it, let me know in a PM or something, and I'll give you a cookie. Here's a little thing. This is just a little seeing pond, I guess you could call it. Just an empty circle of water, nothing inside it. I may turn this into a fountain eventually, that's what it originally was going to be, and I decided to leave it blank. So there's no water coming out the top, it's just a solid pool. Here's the, here's another statue. This is the first one I built. This is Sandstone-henge, I call it. It's a first one I built just as an experiment, I kept it. All of these are just little circles of stone, just going out in a little like, octagon shape almost. All just little archways, and then one little solid block in the center as an altar, I guess you would call it. It's the dead center. I might replace a lapis block or gold or something later, but it's good for now, I'd say. And over here is the last way up. The one we passed by on the way up, this one has pillars as opposed to archways, just to make it different. I didn't want to copy it. That was a rule I had. That'd be no copying of any design. Everything is different, except for the centerpiece here. The same exact one as before here. Same exact design. Just because I felt it was important enough because of its significance in the movie and like backstory of the castle that you get hinted at, that I put a second one here. It's exactly the other one on the east, one on the west. Here we come across the third aqueduct as well. Right over here, pools into a little water. This is the biggest pond, I think, of the four. And it leads out here in one big, long, snaking pathway. Most of the others just lead into short little ones. This one goes in a big, long one. We'll see the end of it in a bit. Right over here is a sundial I built. It's a big, solid piece of sandstone. If you jump up here a little bit, you can see the bottom a bit better. This one I had a bit of a problem with originally. I was debating on how to build it before eventually deciding on design. It would look a lot better if Minecraft actually had moving shadows. Me and Bedrock talked about that a bit earlier. How if you had that incredible shaders mod or whatever it was called, it might actually function as a sundial a little bit. I'm not sure. Never tested it because it's too resource intensive for my game. But instead I just added a bunch of little lapis blocks on the outside, like I sort of just show the marking of time, and then some little gold ones just as decoration. It won't actually do anything, of course. There's no shadows in Minecraft. Over here is just, this is how I cheated a little bit with the waterway I decided to do. One of the rules I had would be that there has to be water basically going everywhere. Just because that's what it had in the movie, but I did not want to cut through any of the half-step walkways. So instead I just cheated and made it go through the bottom of this little pillar. You can see it's the broken one from before, the one with the broken bridge right up here. So it just kind of cuts through the middle and has little bars in here. It's sort of like a, I guess you could call it a sewer. There's no sewage in it though. And we've completed a full circuit most of the outside here. Here we can see the last aqueduct. It's just a short, straight one that leads to a pool that does really nothing. This one was the first one I built, and you can kind of see that because it goes completely straight and is incredibly short. I built it as a test to get the design right in my head before I built all the rest of them. Each of the aqueducts uses this exact same arch pattern is a thing, so I wanted to make sure it looked good before I used it everywhere else and then had to change it partway through. It's also missing a sandstone block right here. I don't know why. Over here is the last of these statues. A set of three obelisks in a row. It's all regular smooth, or regular plain sandstone. Smooth sandstone at the bottom base. And then halfway up it has the creeper base sandstone, just to break up the texture. Otherwise it would have been quite boring, I think. It was a completely solid shape as well. Over here, the last one's been broken and has fallen onto the pathway. As you can see, it covers the step pathway, so you gotta jump across it or go around it. No biggie. But just to make it a bit more interesting to look at than just three regular pillars. And I believe that's everything on the outside. So shall we go downstairs now? See the fun part of the castle, the main part. Well, the main part, I guess, is of importance. This is the part where I design most things to look at. We cut through the trees here, we come across another one of these little domes. Like I showed before, some of them have openings. This one is one that does. But you just walk all the way down here. It leads to a little opening. There's about 5 of these, I believe I mentioned. And they lead here to the dome itself, where you get the best view of the exact size and scale of it on the water outside. It's a simple 2-block wide pathway across the entire thing. There's nothing in it except for one opening right over here. You can see right here is another set of signs here that have the same Laputan symbol, sort of to mark it, make it easier to spot. Because there's one button right here next to bedrock. It's a bit hard to see. Push it, and nothing happens. Why is that? Oh right, because I broke the redstone from before. Well, that came back to bite me, didn't it?